Welcome to the Exploring Careers podcast, where we interview people in different fields and help you discover your path. I'm Lamont, your host, and today I'm talking to Nikoletta, who's a water resources engineer with 5 years of experience. Nikoletta also has a background in civil engineering. In this episode, we touch on what a water resources engineer does and what technical skills are needed for this career. Let's get into it. Hello, everyone. Today we have a very special guest, Nikoletta. Nikoletta is a water resources engineer with 5 years of experience in civil and water resources engineering. Welcome, Nikoletta.
Hi, Mom. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you for coming. I'm excited to have you on because you deal with something a lot of us don't really think about, flood planning. This topic is very crucial for cities like ours in Vancouver because lots of cities are built near water. I know in Vancouver, everyone knows the last place you want to be is in Richmond because it's built on, I believe it's only a meter above sea level. So when everything floods, Richmond floods first. And that's why there's so many dikes that are surrounding it. So to jump right in, I would like to just ask you, could you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, sure. So my name is Nikoletta. I came here in Canada 4 years ago, and I have been working as a water resources engineer since then. In general, what water resources engineering is, it's basically a sub discipline of civil engineering, and it has to do with sewage systems, irrigation, river engineering, hydraulic structures like dams or reservoirs, and then hydrology and, as you mentioned, flood mapping. So at the moment, I'm mostly focused on river engineering, which includes flood mapping or even the silver rise and coastal mapping, climate adaptation, hydrology, and risk assessments.
Those are very broad, diverse set of topics. That's pretty cool. So with all those different topics, could you tell me a little bit more about your standard day-to-day, what kind of things you do?
Yes, so in general, a typical day can include working in the computer in different software like GIS, Geographic Information Systems, to make maps or visualize spatial data. Coding, mostly in R or other similar programming language to analyze datasets. Then might be a literature review, might be reading guidelines, writing reports. It's basically anything. You can do many different things. And also, of course, modeling. You can model rivers or lakes or whatever.
To dive a little deeper, is there any project that was memorable or challenging that you could share with us?
Yeah. So my most memorable project would be a risk assessment we did for a regional district here in BC. It was very interesting because it was totally innovative. To our knowledge, it was the first in Canada. So we had no specific guidance of what we should do exactly. So we needed to research everything, international guidelines, papers. And then, of course, we created our own tools and automated the process. So it was interesting because it looked more like research. Usually engineers have a specific way that they do things, and it's unusual to make up your own guidelines, let's say.
Yeah, that seems pretty cool. You have a lot of autonomy in that project. You can take it wherever you want to go.
Well, it's difficult too because you need to find to base your work on something. You cannot just come up with your own ideas, and that means that you need to research a lot.
For sure. In this job, is there anything that you could share about your likes or dislikes? Is there anything that you're passionate about this job or things that you think can be improved upon either now or in the future?
What I like the most would be that this job actually helps people. And I do love science. I like, using programs. I like my computer, but I also like to give something to the society. And through these projects, we help communities to adapt to climate change and prepare for the future, or to adapt to any kind of extreme events, hydrological events.
Yeah, I think that's really critical for so many cities near the coastal lines. So I'd imagine this field is data driven. You touched on it before with programming in R and data modeling. Could you share with us some of the technical skills you need to pick up if you want to be part of this, if you want to get into this field?
That's a very broad field, and there are literally dozens of programs that somebody might want to know. So specifically for flood mapping, I'm guessing that all of the kind of river modeling software such as HECRAS, Lamont, are important to know. Of course, GIS for any kind of water resources engineer, QGIS or ArcGIS, and Word, Office, anything that has to do with writing, because that's something we do as well.
Thanks for sharing that. Now, I want to dive a bit further into how to get into the field. Could you share first of how you got into your profession?
So I studied civil engineering first, and then I enrolled in a master's in management of hydrometeorological hazards. That was a combined master's in France and Greece. That gave me background in hydrology, climate change, extreme hazard events. And I chose that because I thought that extreme meteorological events can cause many issues to communities, and I wanted to learn more about that. After that, I came in Vancouver and I found a company that does exactly this. So here I am now.
For someone who is thinking about going into this field as a career path, but is not really sure if it's the right path for them, could you share a bit about what kind of person would be a good fit for this career? What kind of interests or perhaps personality traits that would help you to succeed in this role?
Oh, definitely you should like nature, water, and numbers. But I've seen people having all kinds of personality traits. But I think that being responsible and take your job seriously is very important in any kind of engineering profession, because we're dealing with human lives. And that's something that if you don't have these two traits, you cannot work in this sector.
Thank you, Nikoletta. And is there any big learning curves when you were studying or in the field? Is there anything that you had to pick up that you found challenging on the job?
Oh, the profession has too many things that you should know, and I think I never stopped learning. I'm constantly learning something. Maybe modeling software. That's I think the most challenging so far.
Okay. And is there any other tips that you have for listeners that are interested in getting into this field?
That they shouldn't expect that after they finish university, they will know everything. In engineering, we always learn something new, and it's lifelong.
I think that applies to a lot of different career paths. It's all theoretical in education, and then when you get the practical knowledge, it's a completely different story. To wrap up, I'd like to know a bit more about you. What do you like to do for fun?
Fun. So lately, swimming, going to the gym that is open right now, and then preparing Toastmaster speeches. In general, anything that has to do with communication and traveling. That would be my most favorite things.
Nice. Do you have any travel or is there a specific destination in mind already for traveling after this everything gets behind us?
Hawaii, I think. I was thinking of going there in March 2020, but of course, this never happened.
Hawaii would be really nice right now, since right now it's pouring outside in Vancouver.
Yeah, that would be beautiful if I could just go there now.
Thank you, Nikoletta. And lastly, for anyone who wants to reach out to you, is there a place where people can find you?
Sure, I think that LinkedIn will be the best option, and you can find me there.
For sure. We'll put Nikoletta's LinkedIn in the show notes. Thank you, Nikoletta, for coming on the show. This was fun.
Thank you, Lamont. Looking forward to your next podcast.
Thanks. Thank you to Nikoletta for joining me this week and to you for tuning in. If you want to learn more from Nikoletta, I've shared her LinkedIn below. I'm here to help you discover where you want to go. If you have any questions or feedback, I really appreciate it. And let me know of any other career paths that you're interested in. Until next time.